Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations with our Pinterest inspired card of the week. We're going to be using the Falling Flowers stamp set as well as the Blooms and Wishes stamp set. We're just using the sentiment for that, but we're going to use this large flourish stamp for our card. Let me bring in real quick the inspiration piece. Let's see if we can actually see. So I'll have a better image on my blog for this if you'd like to see it. But this is an old Stampin' Up! It was a retired flourish. I think it's Flowering Flourishes. And I just thought this was beautiful. So I am going to recreate that card. Very simple, very elegant. Our card base is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and it is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we have a piece of our basic black, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. That's just going to layer right on top as usual. And then we have our accent piece, and this measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. Now I've actually gone ahead already and I've marked my card to give it a 1/2 inch border all the way around. It also kind of gives me a quick guide as to where I want to stamp. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper so I don't get my desk all messed up. I'm going to be using the basic black archival ink, and like I said before, that large swirl flourish image. I'm actually going to bring my ink to my pad. Let me see if I can zoom you in just a little bit so you can see what's going on. Get a little closer look. I'm going to make sure I ink this up really well. Nice sharp image. Okay. And so when I go to stamp this, I'm going to make sure that I get some on and some off, because the idea is that we're going to go ahead and draw some lines so that they go through that image. Okay, give that just a second. Awesome. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. Now, you could do this where it's fully secured within the lines, or you could do it outside of them, and I will show you the other version that I did where it is outside. I'm going to do this one on the inside though. Okay, let's give that a second. Perfect. Now you will need a ruler. I'm using a T-square ruler. You don't necessarily have to have a T-square ruler. A regular ruler would be just fine. And then I'm using a black extra fine pen. You could use your Stampin' Write markers as well. So let me close up my ink pad. Make sure your hands are clean before you go and touch all of this. Now, like I said, I did already mark my card a 1/2 inch from the top and the sides, just so that I could get an idea of where my lines needed to be. But you can do that afterwards. It's not required. It's just one of those steps that takes a little bit longer, and I wanted to make sure I had time to get this all done. Okay, so now I'm taking my marker and I'm just drawing the line, and I'm skipping where the stamping is. So now I'll show you. So it looks like the line is basically a part of our stamped image. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my down line. Okay, and you can go over those obviously afterwards to make sure that they're nice and crisp, which I will. Okay, and we're just going line to line here. All right, now this one, because now we are going through the stamped image, we want to make sure we pay close attention to where it starts and stops. Now, I'm not going to go through, I don't think. I'll decide actually after I get this started and see. So I'm going to start with the point. I'm going to stop at that first part of the swirl, and then I'm going to pick it up back here where the swirl. Okay, I actually like it where it's not going through the stamped image. So that is how that looks. I do want to go ahead and darken this line over here now. So just make sure if you're doing this that you line it back up so that you can get the best image. Okay, and now it's really just assembly. So it goes by pretty quickly actually. I'm just going to use regular snail. You could pop this layer up if you wanted. That would look nice. I thought that this was just very elegant. I did leave a much larger black border on mine than on my sample. Well, my Pinterest inspired card. You guys seem to really like these, so I'm glad that this is something you guys are interested in. Okay, so there we go with that, and then this is just going to layer flat on top of our card base. If you wanted to add some shimmer to this, you could. Some Wink of Stella. You could add some rhinestones into these little pieces here if you wanted. I'm keeping this one as is, just nice and simple and elegant. I love this flourish from this set, so I couldn't wait to try it with this one. So here I wanted to show you another sample, and this was just a sample I was playing around with, where the sentiment actually goes out, and so it doesn't, the line breaks up. Now I think this would actually be really cool if your sentiment was much larger, like this flourish, and then this one also shows how it goes through the stamping, where this one stops where the stamping is. I actually prefer this one better. I think that one looks, that was the image I was going for. This one's nice too. Again, I think that if this sentiment was much larger, it would make a difference. So there you have our Pinterest inspired card for this week. I hope that you liked today's project. Give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next week.